Camp K is a traditional overnight summer camp for kids with disabilities and medical needs. We work with 11 other nonprofits as a host partner for all of our different camps. These camps range from camps for kids with heart disease, autism, with Down syndrome, those that are impacted by HIV and AIDS. We do a program for youth experiencing homelessness. You know, many of our campers come here and say that this is their personal piece of heaven on earth. Coming out of this pandemic, there's going to be lots of great opportunity here at camp to be able to serve and continue to be able to make a meaningful difference in the lives of other people. This summer, we're doing more than ever. The variety, the amount of resources that we're really pumping into the effort to meet each camper where they're at is really remarkable. We wouldn't be able to do what we do if it wasn't for people that just strongly supported and believed in camp. You know, that's what really makes camp work and makes the community come to life for our campers and makes what we do so special. This is a real defining moment in the history for Camp Knutson. We've gone through some tough times, but we've also taken advantage of this time to prepare, to plan, to be able to make camp bigger, better, and stronger for the future for all of our campers. Thank you for participating in our 35th annual Camp Knutson Quilt Auction. Our Quilt Auction has played such a fundamental role in enriching the lives of so many campers over the years. Remember, every time you bid on a quilt, you're making some kid's life a little bit happier. Our quilt auction will take place on August 14th this year. Our live auction will begin at noon. Please register or donate at campknutson.com/quilts. You'll also find our amazing online catalog at this same web address. Please remember that absentee bidding is available. So please utilize our absentee bidding feature that you will find on our catalog and also on our website. In addition, we'd like to thank our quilt event volunteers that do so much work behind the scenes to make this such a special event each and every year. So let's hear from some of these volunteers that are so passionate about quilts and our mission.
Hi, I'm Penny Bryce. I'm one of the tri-chairs for the quilt auction this year at Camp Knutson. And how I got involved in this camp and quilting is I was up here vacationing with family in 2008 and heard the ad on the radio about the quilt auction here at Camp Knutson. And I thought, I gotta go there. I grew up around quilting with my grandmother and all her sisters. And so I came in 2008 and was just amazed at the quilts they have here, the volunteers that participate in this, and their purpose for all the campers is just a no-brainer. I had to be part of it. And since then, I've been more involved in volunteering here at camp and have met other wonderful volunteers. Everyone seems to have a kindness in their heart, whoever works here. And I always get choked up about it because it's the truth. I just hope everyone can come here and enjoy the camp and see these beautiful quilts.
I'm Cindy Milsby, and I am one of the tri-chairs for the quilt auction. My husband and I moved up to this area in 2015 after we retired. In 2016, I had met a friend who told me about Camp Knutson and to come to the spring meeting to find out more about it, which I did. Afterwards, I got home and I said to my husband, I now know why we were meant to be here. I am meant to be at this camp for so many personal reasons. After losing a son to heart disease, I feel so personally drawn to the camp itself. I know this is my place to be. I've sewn all my life, but didn't start quilting until I moved up here in 2015. And now I'm just in love with these quilts. I have such a respect for them and the people that make them. It takes a lot of time and talent to put fabric together and cutting and sewing. They are just wonderful. I hope everybody enjoys the quilts as much as we do.
Hi, my name is Brenda Peterson, and anyone who knows me knows that the Camp Knutson Quilt Auction Day is the best day of the year for me. And I have been attending camp as an attendee for the quilt auction for many, many years and have been quilting since the 1970s. I'm a retired teacher of special needs kids, So everything about the Camp K Quilt Auction Day fits perfectly with who I am and what I'm about. I am passionate about quilting. I am more passionate about people and the mission of camp and what the place does to everyone who sets foot on campus. And I think that that's enough about me. And for now, we're going to take a little tour of the quilts. This is a charity quilt auction, obviously, but over and above that, it is a wonderful opportunity to see the artistry of the quilts that we have. It's a wonderful quilt show, and we want to give you an opportunity to see some of those quilts now. You are being treated to a tour of the live quilt auction for the Camp Knutson Quilt Auction, which is going to be Saturday, August 14th. One of the quilts that we're featuring is quilt number 5. Though we believe that all quilts are works of the heart, this one also happens to be a fine example of a work of art. It is called a New York Beauty. It is exquisitely made with foundation, paper piecing, lots of detail, lots of curves. It's an extremely challenging pattern to make, and this one has been done in a beautiful fashion. The next quilt that we're featuring is quilt number 9. It's entitled Walking in a Winter Wonderland. It is a wonderful combination of intensely done hand embroidery, sparkling Swarovski crystals, pieced star snowflake blocks, and machine quilted beautifully with a snowflake theme. When a quilt is donated to the auction, the donor is asked to place a value on the quilt. And the donor of this quilt's value was priceless, and we hope our bidders agree. quilt number 25. It is a variation of a log cabin where the blocks are set on point. There are traditional red centers in all of the quilt blocks, and then a variety of beautifully selected lights and darks to show the contrast and make the pattern glow. Quilt number 36 is sort of the evil twin to quilt number 35. It's the fiery hot version of the dragon quilt. One of our generous donors made the pair of them, and they have a totally different look depending on what aesthetic you like. Quilt number 53 is called Monterey Medallion. It's a beautifully executed version of a quilt that is designed by Terry Atkinson, a Minnesota native designer. Suitable for a bed. It really looks awesome on a bed because the center becomes the focal point, with the drape being the little zigzag parts and all of the stars that go around it. Beautifully done quilt, traditional colors, lovely all around. Number 55 is a quilt that brings truth to the good things come in small packages. This quilt has been exquisitely hand embroidered. It is a memorial quilt to Camp Knutson 2021. It has pictures of wildflowers that that you might run across as you're trooping through the woods. And the colors are gorgeous. The machine quilting is beautiful. Everything about this makes it something special for anyone wanting a memento of what Camp Knutson's Quilt Auction 2021 is all about. Quilt number 70 is called an apple core quilt. There is only one piece repeated over and over in the shape of an apple core. Traditionally, it would have been tiny, pieced by hand, painstakingly, slowly. This one is a much more modern take, done in beautiful blacks and creams and batik fabrics, beautiful machine quilting. Quilt number 78 has a great story. The panel and some of the fabrics were donated to a local church group. A number of people in that group put the quilt together, came up with the idea. Of particular note we really like about this quilt with the deer is that the quilting design is antlers. And you can see them a little more clearly on the back side of the quilt, but it's a beautifully done quilt with a lot of up north woodsy appeal. Quilt number 84 is a real treasure. It's a very large quilt. It's called Presidential Ladies. The fabrics are beautifully coordinated. The quilt is exquisitely pieced and machine quilted. All of those blocks that are surrounding the center medallion are representing different presidential first ladies. And they all have names, and it makes it extra special. Quilt number 91 is a wonderful, whimsical, though it's designed to be a child's quilt, it has a really nice, fun flannel backing. I think it would be wonderful hanging in a mudroom, in a home office, anywhere you would want a little bit of color and coloring your world happy. In addition to our 100 quilts for the live quilt auction, we have 2 special cases that were donated, generously donated to Camp Knutson. They are quilt display cases with glass fronts and domed glass tops. They can hold 1 or 2 quilts on the rails inside. The rails can be removed and quilts could be folded and stacked so that they could be viewed from the front glass. They are used gently but in very, very good condition, and it would be a wonderful way to display one of the quilts that you got from the auction.
On behalf of all of our campers, volunteers, and staff, thank you for participating in this year's quilt auction.
Happy bidding!